Welcome to the Michael Jackson International News Digest, Sunday, May 10, 2020. Here are today's headlines. Michael Jackson, Einstein and me, Paris Jackson's ego, Dynamo Loves MJ, Boy George meets Michael, Dumb Story of the Week, and MJ inspires Spiderman. So first of all, here we have a review of Howard Bloom's Einstein, Michael Jackson and Me. Now, Howard was a music publicist. He worked with Michael and the Jacksons during the Victory Tour campaign. And if you listen to the latest MJ Cast episode, there was a really good interview with Howard Bloom where Howard talks about his mission in life is to try to teach everybody about who Michael Jackson actually was. And this review kind of follows in the same vein, and there's a really good interview with him. The first part of this is a review from a fellow author of the book, Helen Zuman. She says, before picking up Einstein, Michael Jackson and Me, I thought of Michael Jackson as a plastic surgery addict, superstar, who's done some awfully catchy songs. By the time I reached the end, I was grieving with tears in my eyes. The tragic crucifixion of a wondrous, luminous soul. Helen Zuman, author of Mating in Captivity. And Howard himself goes on to say that Helen Zuman's radical reperception of Michael Jackson is a goal I've needed to achieve ever since I worked with Michael in 83 and 84. I've wanted to redeem him. I've wanted people to accurately see who he was, because he was the closest to a saint or an angel I have ever met on this earth. I am an atheist, but he was a human beyond the bounds of anything that we normally conceive as humanity. Michael was an amazing human being. He was a gift to all of us. He spent 50 years on this earth. For the first 25 years, he was becoming Michael Jackson. For the second 25 years of his life, he was dangling on a cross in pain, and that should never, ever have happened to him. He deserved far, far better than that. One of the sentences in Einstein, Michael Jackson and Me says that if you love Michael, then you understood him better than any of the critics who ever wrote about him, and you may even have understood him better than the people who he put to work around him. I always had this feeling that I was the only one who understood Michael. My rational brain said, no, that can't possibly be true. Michael surrounded himself with some very talented people, David Geffen, Quincy Jones, and many others. I spoke last week to the Michael Jackson Book Club, and it was on Zoom, and it went all over the world. Michael Jackson fans followed Michael obsessively. They know every single character in his life. They said to me, you are the first one to really understand Michael, and we thank you for redeeming him. That's my job on this planet, to watch out for the human species and all species as much as I possibly can as an individual. So Michael was a mission that I had to fulfill. I'm really looking for I'm really looking forward to purchasing this book and reading more about the Michael stories and Howard Bloom. So here we have Metalhead Zone, who yesterday I said seemed to be obsessed with Paris Jackson. Michael Jackson's daughter Paris criticises people with a huge ego. Oh, this is weird. So Michael Jackson's lovely daughter and 3.5 million followed Instagram phenomena Paris Jackson shared a recent photo on her verified page and took fans' attention to people's laxness about our ecosystem. That's quite a sentence. Basically, it goes on to share a Instagram post where Paris was highlighting veganism. It also mentions that Naomi Campbell, who is also a follower of Paris, commented. So here is the post. Ego versus eco. And again, it's good to see Paris using her platform to educate and inspire others. Our next story is from the NME website, music website, and this is part of their series Soundtrack of My Life. Today it's the turn of Dynamo, British musician, the first magician ever to headline the O2. So they're asking him what is his soundtrack of his life. What are the songs that have inspired him or mean something to him? And the first one he says is, the first song I remember hearing is Black or White. My next door neighbour had it on vinyl and we spent hours trying to copy the Macaulay Culkin rap. I can still remember how it goes today, but growing up as a mixed race kid in Bradford, a very multicultural city where there were fights at times, I feel like the message of the song was actually very apt at that time in my life, as it was for a lot of people at that time, and it still is. It's good to see another celebrity positively talking about Michael and his artistry. So here we have the Mail Online. Oh, I hate the Mail Online. This is weird. This Boy George story was found at the end of another article about a tell-all book, which had nothing to do with Michael or Boy George. But we'll just scroll down and we'll see what Boy George has to say about the first time he met Michael. I presume it was the first time. This is Mr. Obnoxious Boy George. It's a self-nomination this week from Boy George, who confesses he must have been Michael Jackson's most appalling fan. The singer 58 tells me of an occasion where he was starring in the musical Taboo and was wearing crazy makeup to create his look for his role playing flamboyant performance artist Lee Bowery. He recalls, "I knew Michael was outside the theatre in a limo and I ran up to it, but looking back I was obnoxious. I went up and did an impromptu show for him and was screaming at the car. I know he saw me. I always wanted to sit him down and put him to rights, like, Michael, what you are doing wrong is this." Well, I'm sure Michael would have appreciated that. It then goes on to say, "I can't imagine why Michael didn't open the door." Our next story is the dumb story of the week. So this is from thearchitect.com. I don't know what this is all about. This headline screams, "Paris Jackson doesn't look like her father, Michael Jackson." Oh dear. It's appallingly written and it's full of inaccuracies. Let's go through this article written by Linda Davis. So, Paris Jackson has become a famous model and actress. However, being the daughter of Michael Jackson, she has no similarities with him at all. The celebrity was named after the capital of France where she was conceived. Her mother, Debbie Rois, who is Debbie Rois, also gave birth to Paris's brother, Michael Joseph Jackson Jr. Her another brother, Prince Michael Jackson II, is officially just the son of Michael Jackson. What? The problem is that Paris Jackson does not look like Michael Jackson. These are the photos of her father and brother, Prince Jackson. Both kids look more like their mother, Debbie Rois. And these are the photos that were taken by Jonathan Exley for Vibe magazine. And I'm just sharing this. I know it's not news, but I'm just highlighting this to show the kind of crap that the Jackson family have to put up with on a daily basis. This is quite clearly a clickbaity article, something that should be avoided. And our last story is great. It's from the Hindustan Times. Hindustan Times? It's about a real-life Spiderman who has been inspired by Michael Jackson. It's an amazingly positive story. So, it goes on to say that Burak Soylu, hope I pronounced that right, from Antalya, Turkey, can perform jaw-dropping superhero stunts. He jumps fences, climbs walls, and he can even hang upside down from the roof. But what makes this what makes this man extraordinary is his mission in life. This Spider-Man goes about delivering groceries and medicines to the elderly who are self-isolating during the coronavirus. The 27-year-old goes on to say, "I want to share unconditional love with all. I love Michael Jackson. He was able to reach out to so many souls that were seeking to make this world a better place." And it's great to see that 11 years after Michael passed, that Michael is still inspiring generations of people to make this world a better place. And that's today's International MJ News. If you have any tips, stories or breaking news, send them here first. Leave me a comment. What do you think about today's news? And subscribe. The best is yet to come.